The disrespect is so loud. When someone shows you their wedding dress, there's only one correct answer. You gotta say that it's nice. I'm dying. I can't with this story. Would you tell me if you thought my wedding dress was ugly?
I think I would have to be honest with you. I wouldn't.
Hey guys, it's V, and you're tuned into Honey Hearts. Now, today we're gonna dive into a bunch of Reddit stories that are both heartwarming and heartbreaking. Today's mantra, I think, is mind your own business. Because in some of these Reddit stories, you'll see that there's always someone that might be maybe sticking their nose into someone else's matters a little bit too much. Now, be prepared to laugh, judge, enjoy, and maybe feel a bit frustrated in some of these real life stories. Let's get into it. So, our first story is from the subreddit aita. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to wear my future mother-in-law's wedding dress? My 26-year-old female and my fiance, 27-year-old male, got engaged in February 2024. We're planning our wedding to be in March next year on the day of when we first met. We began planning the wedding May 2024. The theme is light blue and white. It's important to know that my fiance is an only child. A couple weeks ago, I was shopping for wedding dresses with my mom and sister when I found this lovely dress, and it needed only a little bit of tailoring to fit me. When I sent photos to my fiance, he thought it was beautiful too. Now, here's the problem. My future mother-in-law was over, and when my fiance showed her the dress, she immediately called me. I ignored her as I was still with my mom and sister. When I got back to my and my fiance's house, my future mother-in-law was waiting for me. When I walked through the door, she immediately got up from the couch and accused me of lying, claiming that I had promised to wear her dress. I never had. This was such an out-of-the-blue thing for my future mother-in-law, as we normally get on really well. I told her I'd never promised her anything. She then yelled at me, calling me a liar, and that I didn't deserve to get married to my fiance. I was so taken aback by that, I just walked away. I've done so much to make sure this woman likes me, and now she doesn't because I don't want to wear her wedding dress that went out of style 50 years ago. Once I'd stormed off to my room, my fiance joined once he had sent his mother back to her house. He asked what had happened, and I explained my side of the story about how I was just suddenly accused of all these lies I never said. He then explained his mom's side of things, which was that apparently when I first started dating my fiance, my future mother in law had shown her wedding dress, and I'd said I would love to get married in that. I started dating my fiance 5 years ago. I honestly don't ever remember saying that, but it was so long ago I might have, but I don't think so as the dress isn't the prettiest. OP, that subtle burn with this dress, it's a 50-year-old dress, it's not your style. It's very weird though. I wonder why mother in law is all of a sudden coming out of the woodwork, it seems, and saying, no, you promised to wear my dress. But let's see. OP says, the next day I woke up with messages from my future mother in law saying that I'm such a liar and that my fiance shouldn't marry a liar. I'm going to be honest, I teared up as I read those messages because I tried so hard to be liked by her and I thought I was. I told my fiance about the messages and he said that she's probably just hurt that I don't want to wear her dress. But it's my wedding. Why can't I wear what I want? Please tell me your opinions. Quick interruption to the story, guys. If you haven't yet, don't forget to hit the like button and smash subscribe. Let's get to 3K, guys. Thanks. So there is an update. But first thing I'm thinking is it seems really bizarre. I know that we're hearing OP's side is that she's adamant she never made any promises, but mother-in-law seems to really be honing this point in to the point where she's saying you're a liar, you promised. Okay, let's play a little devil's advocate. Say OP did say that 5 years ago. People are allowed to change their minds about their own wedding dress. I don't think there should be any pressure for OP to wear her mother-in-law's dress. You can't just, especially if it's your would-be mother-in-law, would you really say, oh, that's ugly?
Right.
So for all we know, maybe OP did make the promise, but 5 years later, she didn't think that mother-in-law would remember. Or I guess how you define promise, but maybe she just said it in passing, like, oh yeah, would you like to wear this? Yeah, sure, sure. When someone shows you their wedding dress, there's only one correct answer. You gotta say that it's nice. You know, maybe I'm jumping the gun. It feels like mother-in-law never really liked OP, the fiance, and that this is just an excuse to really blow things up. I'm kind of upset with her fiance so far because it doesn't seem like he's on her side or defending her. It just seems like he's rationalizing mom's behavior and saying, no, 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 she's just hurt. It's fine. It's all fine. I think he has a responsibility to defend his fiance, his would be wife, no?
I mean, I think it depends how the conversation went down, and maybe that is the reason the mother-in-law is reacting the way she did. Like, I guess I'm not against the OP
Wearing her
making a
own
different
dress?
decision. I
Yeah,
think that is
make your own
completely fine,
decision.
but I think I think it matters how you approach that conversation, especially maybe since you made a promise a while ago, which mother-in-law probably remembered. And I think when that confrontation happened, the way it sounds that OP completely dismissed that has
Well,
promised that.
it does seem like a he said, well, I guess not he said, she said, a she said. Because mother in law saying, you lied to me, you promised. But Opie saying, I might have said something about the dress, but I never promised to wear it.
Doubting the OP quite a bit because they had like no recollection at all of as to what happened, and that to me seems very strange.
You're unsure. You're saying there could be reason why mother in law is blowing up. I don't know. I right now I'm not seeing mother in law in a favorable light. But let's see the update. Maybe I'll change your mind. Here's an update. OP says, hi, I'm not sure how to start this, but I sat my fiance down and talked to him about my female mother in law. When he finally gave me the time to actually talk, I mentioned how I wanted to wear my own dress to my wedding, and he once again brought up how it was also for her parents. WTF? I explained calmly that it was a union of us, not our parents, and unless his mom wanted to pay for our entire wedding, it was our wedding. Then I said how he found the dress I originally wanted was beautiful, and he only changed his mind when his mom raised the issue. He said he only said it was beautiful because that's what I would have wanted to hear, and he found it ugly. Mm, I don't like fiance. Well, okay, to avoid confusion, I'll call OP and I'll call fiance like her fiance to not confuse us.
That's OP and fiance.
OP, well, you know what I mean. Because I'm like calling him fiance, they're both fiancés. Okay. I don't like him. He's not even on her side. At this point, I think the promise, the 5 years ago promise, this is such a small thing, whether or not even occurred, right? It's such a small thing that for your wedding, just let your fiance, well, OP's fiance should let fiance wear whatever she wants. OP should be able to wear her dream dress. It should not be up for debate between mother in law, fiance, and OP. It seems to be becoming this whole community discussion when it doesn't really need to be. And I don't like that he lied. I'm more upset of his lie of saying, oh, it's beautiful when he thought it was ugly. So if his mom didn't say anything, he would have let OP walk down the aisle in what he thinks is an ugly dress.
Yeah, I can't I can't really defend the OP's fiance here. Yeah, I think he's definitely in the wrong.
He's screaming mama's boy in a not good way. It's just, I don't like it. It just seems like whatever mother in law is saying, fiance is just going to say, oh, yeah, and change his tune to match whatever mom in law wants. Okay, I think there is a point to saying, okay, the wedding's a union for you two. It's your wedding. You do whatever you want. But at the same time, yes, it's a guest, like you're inviting guests. So you do want it to be a nice experience for other people. But this is not where that argument applies. Okay, OP continues. I didn't react to the last comment and instead brought up how I could wear something else of his mom's. And he completely shut down that idea, saying his mom offered the dress and I couldn't take something from her if she didn't offer it, and that I should be grateful she offered her dress. I admit I was angry at this and replied with am I marrying you or your mother? When I asked him this, he yelled at me, saying that what his mom was asking wasn't a big deal and that I was blowing this out of proportion. After he said I was making a big deal out of my wedding dress, I stormed out and called my mom, explaining the whole situation. When I went back downstairs, he was gone and he texted me explaining that he's going to be staying with his mom until, quote, I come to my senses. I'm now rethinking my whole relationship as I can't marry him if I'm also marrying his mother. And I'm not going to be one of those people on Reddit talking about my horrible mother in law, even though I sort of am. Oof, this is rough. I think, honestly, this is a glimpse as to what your life is going to be like, OP, if you go through this marriage and your fiance doesn't change his behavior. At this point, I'm less pissed with the mother in law because you can choose to interact less or set some boundaries with mother in law. But if your fiance and your would be husband isn't backing you up, then it's just not going to work. If he is so adamant that, oh, do it for mom, do it for mother, he can wear the wedding dress. Why does fiance just rock the 50-year-old wedding dress then? If it means so much to his mom and he feels that strongly, I think he can rock it. See, that's a win-win compromise for me. Fiance will wear mother-in-law's or his mom's 50-year-old dress and walk up the aisle, and OP can wear her nice dress. And they can just get married that way if it means that much to him. It's just weird to me that he even feels strongly enough to not consider her point of view at all or her compromise. And then now he's just going to pout and say, let me know when you've come to your senses, and then run away to his mom's house to sleep. This just seems such a man baby behavior. So baby. Not in a cutesy way between couples, but in a literally like, ugh, I'm getting kind of secondhand cringe. Is this the dude that you're into, OP? And how did this not come up before? Like, was this some facade that mother-in-law just had? Because OP says that she thought that things were good between her and mother-in-law. And all of a sudden, now that they're getting married, this dress situation is blowing up out of control. It's
I think
weird.
once you're going to marry someone, you should be on their side. I think if the OP wants to wear the dress that she wants to wear, she should be able to.
What's funny is OP's asking, this post is about the mother-in-law situation, but if anything, it proves to me more than ever that fiance is just no bueno. Not
Right.
great.
I think the
Not great.
fiance is a bit of an a-hole here.
A bit.
Well, an
He
a-hole.
stormed off to his mom's house. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, we won't wear her dress. I'm going to leave.
Absolutely. So, but what do the comments say?
So, first comment from Outrageous Victory. Oh, come on. Your mother-in-law sounds irrational, manipulative, and controlling. If she's like this before you get married, best of luck to you after the wedding. She's not likely to change, and your fiance seems like a mommy's boy. That's what I said. Not the a-hole, but have a real good think about your future. Oh, OP actually responded. OP says, this whole thing has changed my opinion on her. I just don't understand how it all happened. Another comment from Shiba Spots. Not the whole, you could decide what you wear to your wedding. You never promised to wear mother-in-law's dress. And even according to what she said, you just said a complimentary thing when she was showing the dress off years ago. Your fiance seems to just want to smooth things over. Ask if he really wants to see you on your wedding day and know you're unhappy. That even if you wear the dress, the only one that would enjoy it would be his mother. Not a great start to a marriage. OP says, these are very good points, and I never did promise her that. So it's truly a shock. I'm going to speak to him tonight. Yeah, I haven't changed my mind. Even if whether or not the promise was there, it makes no sense on the timeline. 5 years ago, before you're even engaged,
Right, but
someone shows you a dress.
you can still potentially make a promise, and I guess OP forgot about. I guess she completely forgot about the conversation she had with the mother-in-law. So that.
But she's saying she's never made a promise, though.
But
she remembers the conversation, but she never said she'd made a promise.
But initially, she said, OP said that basically she did not remember the conversation whatsoever. So that to me makes the OP completely unreliable in the situation.
Well, yes, it's not reliable. But to me, the promise isn't even important anymore. It's a freaking wedding dress. Let the bride wear it. It doesn't matter what you promised.
That to me is not a concern here, right? But I think based on how conversation went down then, and if the OP is questioning,
like you're saying that there's a chance mother-in-law completely is overacting because she's being gaslit. She feels gaslit or something.
Potentially, because if the OP completely ignored having that conversation upon their initial interaction about when the mother-in-law mentioned the dress, then I would feel some sort of way, because I think the OP would be questioning mother-in-law's character at that point, right?
Yeah.
I'm still like, I'm gonna say, yeah, the OP is able to pick whatever dress she wants. That's not the argument here for me.
So is she the a-hole for it?
I think she's a bit of an a-hole for maybe how she handled that initial interaction where she completely dismissed maybe mother-in-law's point. But I don't know.
Well, but think of her. But I think you're not considering her perspective. Is that if she never made the promise and someone's coming out of the woodwork and saying, no, you promised this outrageous thing.
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna say, oh yeah, sure I did.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of lean that I'm unsure if the OP is an asshole in regards to that, but I want to.
But in terms of wanting to wear her own dress, she
absolutely.
isn't.
That is not. I'm not arguing against that. I think the fiance is for sure an a-hole here as well.
All right. So we do have a few updates, actually. This is the second update. Thank you all for the comments. I appreciate it so much. I talked to my mom and she said that my fiance is acting weird and immature. Yesterday, my fiance's mom called me explaining that we need to talk, and I agreed. She started off saying how I was going back on a promise and she was hurt by that. I never got the chance to defend myself before she said that she's willing to move past it if I wear her dress. I completely shut down that idea and expressed how it was my day and I want to wear what I want. I then offered that I could wear something else of hers if she wants that. She didn't. She wants me to wear her dress. I tried again to explain how I wasn't comfortable wearing her dress and I never promised to wear it. And it might have been one of my fiance's ex girlfriends. Oh, that's awkward. So, what if it was one of fiance's ex girlfriends that promised?
Ouch.
That would be kind of weird. Although I don't like how mother in law is approaching this because to me, the bride's opinion is one of two most important opinions on a wedding. And you already know that she doesn't want to wear your dress. So why are you keep pressuring her? And this is not a compromise. It's almost like it feels like she's saying, it's okay that you broke the promise. As long as you wear my dress, then we're all good. That doesn't feel like a solution. It doesn't feel like she wants to even approach that potentially she may have misremembered the conversation or just the blatant fact that OP just doesn't want to wear her dress. I don't know why she's so adamant about this. Can someone please explain to me why? We've had a few stories like this where mother in law or someone in the family always insists that the bride has to wear their dress. Why? Is it like a sentimental thing? Is it like they want to relive their own wedding day in a weird way? OP continues. She, however, didn't take this and blew up at me through the phone, calling me a liar, unworthy, and a witch. I hung up on her and blocked her number. Then my fiance texted me saying it wasn't fair to yell at his mother about the dress and I'm acting so immature, but she was the one who blew up at me. Then I texted my fiance to meet me at our house to talk things out. He refused, saying he would come tomorrow. So now I'm waiting for him to show up. I'm genuinely confused. It's an overreaction. She's not willing to hear OP's side. She doesn't want to compromise. And I think there are a lot of ways you can compromise, right? You could say, maybe give OP could wear the mother in law's wedding jewels, like earrings or something, like something sentimental, heels, I don't know, bracelet, something cute. And I think that would be a positive memory. I'm questioning mother in law's intentions because you just know bride is absolutely pissed off at you at this point, and you're still pressuring her. If you wanted this to be a bonding, sentimental moment, wouldn't you want the bride to be happy to have what you're offering as a gift and not feel pressure to it? I don't think this is something that you do out of goodwill. She's the evil mother in law to me. Now, here's what I'm wondering. If OP continues to stand her ground and not wear the wedding dress, would mother in law potentially show up at their wedding in her wedding dress? I wouldn't put it past her at this point. Now, there is a third update, so let's see if we might change our minds. Update 3. Hello, everyone. Again, thank you for the kind words and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I didn't expect it to sort of blow up, and I wish I could reply to all of you. I spoke with my fiance about his childish behavior and how I was angry at his mom and him for trying to get me to wear the dress. He tried to talk, but I quickly cut him off and continued saying how it was no longer about the dress, and it was how he took his mother's side over mine. He wasn't happy with this, of course, and said he was only taking the side which was right. However, I disagreed with this and said a dress was a huge factor of a wedding and that I wouldn't wear something I wasn't comfortable with. And then I again brought up how he should be backing me, not his mother, were to get married. He got super pissed off at me for that, as I said if instead of when. He started yelling, saying how I was going to cancel our wedding just because of a stupid dress and how all of this must be some joke. I stood firm and told him that this whole thing has got me questioning whether I want to marry him. He once again, surprise, surprise, tried to storm out. I followed him and told him he had to talk with me or I'm ending it. He whipped around and slapped me. I stood there in shock as he slammed out front door and ran back to his mommy. Safe to say, I'm not marrying this man, and I'm texting him just that. Thank you so much for all your comments. I can't explain how much you have all helped me. Hopefully, I can find a man to marry him in less than a year so that my beautiful planning doesn't get wasted. The last sentence was sarcasm. This escalated so quickly. Fiance and mother in law are huge a-holes. And the fact that he slapped her? Over what? Over her standing her ground and wanting to wear her own dress? And once again, he runs back to mommy. Like, if it wasn't for the slap, it would almost feel comical. I'm just imagining these two are having an argument, screaming, and instead of the stereotypical woman running out the door, it's fiance the man, and he's running away, And she's like, no, we have to talk this through. Like, stay here and continue this conversation with me, have this fight with me as a couple. And he's just going, no, I'm running back to mommy. It just, I am so sorry, OP, that you're experiencing this. Now, I wonder, did they just hide this behavior from OP before and it's just all coming out now with the wedding coming up? Or have there been hints of this behavior? Fiance should just go live and honestly stay with his mom forever because it seems like no opinion is more important to him than mommy's. So, first comment, he slapped you? Oh, hell no. He thinks you're being petty? Show him petty. Press charges against this mama's boy and tell him to F off. You dodged 2 bullets. I agree. OP says, I'm definitely going to press charges for assault. Any part of me that loved him still got slapped right out, literally. It's a horrible situation, but I love the pun. Sometimes I think people say that love, like true love, can surpass anything. I think that's only true when both parties are willing to work it out and understand each other. In this case, no. No. I am glad that OP isn't kind of clinging on to the fiance because we have had some stories where it seems like OP just can't let go and they just usually feel so much for their partner that there's just kind of in this emotional limbo of should I stay? Should I go? But I can't because I love him, but he treats me like poo. So I'm really glad that OP is standing her ground. And she's kind of laughing about it, which is good. I think she's kind of like cope laughing. I sense a cope sarcasm, cope laugh. Another comment. Oh my God, you are so fortunate to have seen his true colors before you married him. I know numerous women whose husbands' personalities did a 180 after getting married. I know this is an incredibly emotional time for you, but remember to be grateful that you were saved from marrying an abuser. Yep, I definitely see abuser tendencies here. OP says, I can't believe that was 5 years down the drain. Shame he ended up like that, though, through no fault of my own. I think it's hard to not feel like you wasted years of your life when a relationship just ends like this, instantaneous. It wasn't like a drawn out process that you can grieve. It's just instantly just, who are you? So OP does have one final update. And this one's a day old. So let's see. She says, hello again. This one will be a bit of a short update. Again, thank you for all the kind words and some of the not so kind. This morning, I went to the police station and filed for a restraining order, which will then be taken to court. I've taken photos of the mark on my cheek from him slapping me and video footage of him coming and leaving my house. Hopefully, all goes well and I can leave him and his crazy mom behind me. I'm going to use the wedding venue to host myself an early birthday party and going on the honeymoon with my sister. I took your advice and unblocked him and his mommy, which I then quickly had to mute as his mom blew up my phone. I texted my ex-fiance calling things off and that he's an a-hole. He replied with saying he's sorry, etc., and bombarding my phone with messages asking me to forgive him. Sorry for the short update, but will probably be the last one for a while. Again, thank you for the comments and support. Lots of love. OP. I like this. I feel like there's a happy conclusion, and I'm glad she's actually pressing charges and taking the time to enjoy her would have been wedding turned super mega birthday party and enjoying the honeymoon with her sister. And it seems like she has a pretty nice support system too, that she has her mom and her sister to support her during this time. So OP signed off this post with lots of love, but it feels like she's surrounded by lots of love. And I'm sending you lots of love as well, OP. Super happy that you dodged not 1, but 2 bullets. When people say kind of like 2-for-1 deal, I feel like this is it. This is the embodiment of that. So first comment from Bonim. Glad you ditched the slap happy mama's boy. I hope you have a nice birthday and you and your sister have a great vacation. OP says, thank you so much. So has your opinion changed on mother-in-law now knowing the whole saga?
Definitely. I think the mother-in-law is definitely an a-hole of how she's
kind of giving crazy.
Yeah, after like I mean the whole
Oh my
follow-up
gosh.
is the follow-up conversations and arguments with OP show the ugly
true
side
colors?
of her. Yeah, the true
Yeah.
colors. So yeah, I'm at the same time I don't know exactly how the initial conversation with between the OP and mother-in-law went down. I will have to say that I am leaning towards the OP side in regards to the story.
It's weird.
Yeah, I think that the true a-hole here is the OP's fiance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He is the true a-hole.
I think OP trying to figure out what was going on with her mother-in-law showed her fiance's or
Right.
ex-fiance's true colors, which I didn't expect. I think that was the plot twist, is that he was kind of like unveiling, like, I'm gonna run off to mommy. Mommy says this, so I'm gonna do that. Now, here's a question for you. Would you tell me if you thought my wedding dress was ugly?
I think I would have to be honest with you. I wouldn't. I think
Oh man.
it would be very hard for me
Oh no.
to even imagine you in a dress that would be ugly on you.
Yeah.
Because I think pretty much everything you pick and
Oh
everything you wear looks
man.
very nice on you. So I
I guess
think
I'll have to go return my, rainbow colored, like fluorescent rainbow colored light up neon
I
dress
don't know.
now.
I think you could probably pull it off too.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't think that's your style. So I would be very surprised if you wore something like that.
I think you'd be shook.
I'd be shook. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to hear your reactions to the next one. It is the wild pick of the episode. Now, if you guys are new, wild pick is just what it literally is, the wild story of the episode. And it's one that kind of popped out. Usually it makes me laugh a little. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. So this story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for making my neighbors think I'm in a cult? Hi, throwaway account because I don't want my friends to find this. I, 24-year-old male, am a huge fan of board games, particularly Dungeons and Dragons. I host weekly D&D sessions at my apartment with a group of friends, and it's been our tradition for the last 5 years. We get into it, we dress up, light candles, chant dramatic incantations, we play some ambient music. I know it's more than the regular player, but we like it and find it funny. I love this, OP. When you have a group of friends that all enjoy a game, it's kind of like board game nights or something, where you have your crew, you guys dress up for it. It sounds so much fun. OP says, recently, my neighbors, an older couple in their 60s, moved in next door. They're nice enough, but pretty old school. Anyway, they've been giving me these weird looks lately and avoiding me in the hallway, which I thought was odd, but I figured maybe they just weren't into socializing. Well, last Saturday, during one of our sessions, we got really into it. My friend Dave, 23-year-old male, was doing an epic monologue as the evil sorcerer that we were about to defeat, and I may have been waving around a fake sword. Okay, let me read that. My friend Dave, 23-year-old male, was doing an epic monologue as the evil sorcerer we were about to defeat, and I may have been waving around a fake sword while wearing a hooded cloak. I was cosplaying my rogue character. We were deep in the moment when I heard a knock on the door. I see where this is going. I opened it, still in costume, and was greeted by my very concerned looking neighbors. Before I could say anything, the wife blurted out, "We've seen the people coming and going, the chanting, the cloaks, the swords. We just want to make sure everything is okay." I was caught off guard, and without thinking, I blurted out, "Oh, we're just summoning demons, nothing to worry about." And then I laughed because obviously I was joking. They did not laugh. In fact, they looked even more horrified. They just mumbled something about being good Christians and backed away slowly. I'm trying to hold myself back and keep a straight face as I'm reading this to you guys. Opie says, fast forward to the next morning, and I find a pamphlet slipped under my door for a cult deprogramming service. They even included a handwritten note offering to introduce me to their pastor to, quote, save my soul. Now, my friends think this is hilarious and keep suggesting that we lean into it, like start wearing robes to take out the trash or chant in hallways. I'm honestly tempted to mess with them a bit, but I'm also kind of worried I've legitimately freaked them out. Am I the a-hole for accidentally making my neighbors think I'm a cult leader? And should I clear things up or just let them believe it? I'm dying. I can't with this story. I don't know how people are with their neighbors. I don't know my neighbors that well, but I know them enough that I think I would be a little bit embarrassed and hilarious if they thought I was hosting some sort of cult chanting sessions and summoning demons in my house at random wee hours in the morning. I applaud OP for his dedication to Dungeons and Dragons. I'm just imagining that the face of the neighbors, of these 60-some-year-old neighbors, they're knocking on the door because they're honestly concerned, and all they're probably hearing is like,
"Oh, I summoned the, I don't know, devil from the dark."
or something like that. Like next door, because what? They live in a is it apartment complex? I think OP says. Yes, apartment complex. And imagine the walls can't be that thick either. So they're just hearing all of these things out of context. And they probably don't know what Dungeons and Dragons are, to be honest. They're 60 something. I highly doubt it. And they moved into this neighborhood and they knock, and all they see, they open up, all they see is a bunch of grown men in their 20s, mid to later 20s, in cloaks and hoods and waving swords around and chanting about demons and creatures. I'm just dying. Honestly, I would be minorly concerned that OP is stressing out his neighbors unintentionally in their old age. And maybe they actually, well, they do think he's in a cult. I think it's kind of sweet though that they're not super judgy about it. I thought the story would end with them being super judgy and saying, oh my gosh, the Lord needs to save you or something like that.
How about the whole pamphlet in the door?
Oh yeah, that's super. But I think there was still like a nice intention from it. I mean, yes, is it super invasive and weird for them to slip that pamphlet and be like, hey, I
Well,
think you
yeah,
need
I think
it.
at this point they're making assumptions that this is a cult and
Oh yeah.
not some kind of board game.
Can you fault them though?
I mean, to some from one side, right? I think the
Yeah.
OP should have probably clarified that they're playing this game. I
Oh,
think
so you don't think that he should just let them believe it and lean into it?
I'm 50-50 on this, right? Like, I see from one side, yeah, it's fun to play this
I think
whole
it's a
prank on
harmless
them,
joke.
but at the same time, from the elderly couple's perspective, right? I don't think they have no idea what this thing is. Like, this is a board game, or well, not board game, but I guess Dungeons
It's a
and
card game,
Dragons.
right? Or no? Isn't it? Is it a digital, like a normal video game, and it's a card game, right? Dungeons and Dragons, I think.
I don't know about the actual.
I've never
like,
played
the
it. You guys will
digital
have to tell me
game. I know
context.
it's.
I think so. For sure, it's invasive for them to slip the pamphlet and be like, hey. It's almost like them saying, hey, I hope you find God. The whole situation is just so silly. OP, if you're going to lean into it, I think it should be temporary. Like, do it for like a week, maybe. Don't do it long term because, you don't want to completely freak out your neighbors and have it be weird and them fearing for their lives or something living next to you because they're worried that you're up to no good in the wee hours of the night waving swords around. So I think long term, you should probably let them know, OP. But also, I have to say, OP does not perform well under pressure because you're telling me his neighbor knocks on doors asking, what is everything okay? Probably from all the noise they're hearing. And his reaction was, oh, we're just summoning demons. You could have said, I'm playing board games with my friends.
Yeah, I think the OP should have clarified right there and then that they're playing this game, because I think the elderly couple, even though I would say, okay, they should probably be more knowledgeable about
Yeah,
that they're living under the rock in regards to this, like their
kind of.
various
Yeah.
games. But at the same time, I don't think if they keep this up, I don't think the elderly couple will take it very well either, because
no.
I don't think that they would ever think that this is some kind of joke or
No, I think there's a
prank.
social context too. With different generations, I see it. If OP and his friends were our neighbors, to be honest, I think I would have caught on that they're not in a cult, and especially with the swords, I would have just assumed maybe not Dungeons and Dragons, maybe they're doing like Star Wars or I don't know, some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh thing going on, like whatever card game, board game night, or some sort of themed event, weekly event. I wouldn't have thought that it was a cult, and I think we probably would have gotten the context. Oh, they're just joking, like summoning demons, ha ha, what a joke. I think in this case, culturally and socially, I don't think the old couple picked up the cues that this was all like in good fun. They genuinely thought he was being honest.
Right.
So let's see what the comment says. First comment from Trucker Girl. This is hilarious and uncannily timely. I'm a landlord and recently had a call from an older couple who lives next to a younger pair of male roommates. They were telling us about weird chanting and other activities they were concerned about. It wasn't during quiet hours and not enough of a disruption for us to look into. I'm sure you aren't our tenants because there's no hallway and the older folks aren't Christian, but still weird to read about. Also, not they unless you're keeping them up late at night. What are the odds that, what are the odds though, that the first person or top commenter is also getting complaints, landlord, of chanting like, wait, is this a normal thing actually when I think about it? Is this like an epidemic of older Could be Christian, could be not Christian, older couples that are living in apartment complexes where they're hearing male roommates or tenants next door just chanting a lot. Also, how popular is Dungeons and Dragons? I feel like it's popular enough that I know about it. Not that I live under a rock, but I have no idea what the game is, but I know it's a game and it's big. So I was not aware that there were that many people playing card games, board games, or doing things that involve chanting. But love the odds. OP says, haha, maybe our groups could going together. Oh my goodness. I think my eyes just had a freaking aneurysm trying to read that. Maybe groups are going together and growing the cult. All of our games are finished around 7:30, usually latest. We go till is 9. Oh my gosh, commas, OB. Sorry, guys. This is probably hard for you to hear. Let me redo this. Haha, maybe our groups could go together and grow the cult. All of our games are finished around 7:30, usually latest we go till is 9. Our DM, oh wait, is this Dungeon Master? DM? Okay, our DM, Dungeon Master Dave, has 3 kids at home, so he can't waste all his time playing nerdy games with his friends. I think this is so wholesome. Like, it's such a side note, but I think it's so wholesome that OP and his gang are just out here having these weekly, like, card game, video game, whatever it is, sessions. And they're just truly leaning into it, getting into get up, dress up, having fun. I think it's kind of cute. It's so cute. And the fact that Dave has kids at home and he's probably like, oh, I have to be back. And they're not even going that late. Like, latest is 9 p.m. Come on. Come on. I don't think it's that bad. As long as they're not disturbing their neighbors or, well, at untimely, I was going to say ungodly hours, but, ungodly hours. Another comment. I get the it would be funny aspect of leaning into it, especially for your friends who don't live there, but it's always a good idea to keep things friendly with your neighbors if you can. That's not a moral judgment. It's just an investment in making your own life better, easier, and more pleasant. So far, not they-hole, but I would suggest having a word with the neighbors, thanking them for their concern, reassuring them that everything is actually fun, and explaining that it's just a game, not a cult.
Yeah, I think this comment sums up my opinion pretty well.
Yeah. Right. Because I think long term, like, it's funny in the short term, but then when you think of the
Right.
long term implications,
You have to live with those neighbors every day, right?
Yeah.
Well, as long as they live there, right? But
yep, you don't want them thinking you're legitimately a concern for safety in the area. So I hope you guys enjoyed this wild pick. And let me know if the plot twist was what you thought it would be. Because usually I think when there's neighbor disputes, it ends up being really nasty. Like, things can blow up very fast. But I think this genuinely was a harmless, kind of funny prank joke that wrote itself. A prank that OP unintentionally projected into the neighborhood, so to speak. Our next story is from the subreddit aita. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my fiance's ex to our wedding? Throwaway account. I, female, 26 years old, have been with Henry, male, 36, almost 37 years old, for 5 years. We're engaged and currently planning our wedding. Congrats, OP. A little background. Henry is the youngest child and his mother really wanted a girl. Because of this, Henry grew up feeling despised by his mom, who openly says hurtful things like how he was a disappointment from the start or how she never got the daughter she wanted. Despite this, instead of going no contact with her, Henry has been trying very hard to win her love. Henry had a long-term ex, female, 32 years old, who is very close with his mother. She became the daughter his mother always wanted. However, this ex cheated on him with a coworker and left him. After 2 years, Henry and I met. Eventually, the ex wanted to get back together with him, but he said no and blocked her. Despite this, she and his mother remain best friends. His mother still invites her to family functions, and my fiance and I just ignore her. That is such a weird dynamic. Why are you close with your son's ex-girlfriend? Especially when you know they didn't break up on good terms. It's not like your son's okay with it either. She cheated on him. That's why they ended the relationship. Mother so far is not looking so good. She sounds like a terrible mom. I feel so bad because I know there's a case of where the child with a bad relationship sometimes with their parents will want to reconnect with their parents and have that love that they never got from that parent. But I just think it's an unwinnable battle. Both sides have to work at the relationship. You can't just be one-sidedly trying to win the affections of your mom. It's just not going to work. Opie continues, his mother doesn't like me and believes I'm the reason she can't have her preferred daughter-in-law. My fiance has explained many times that he would rather stay single forever than get back with his ex. So even if I didn't exist, he wouldn't be with her. Yesterday, my mother in law asked how many guests she could invite to our wedding. I told her that since my parents could invite 8 to 10 people, she could do the same. She thanked me, but an hour later, she smiled and said, "Well, we have one yes already," referring to my fiance's ex. I told her that it was very inappropriate since we aren't even friends with her. She responded by saying that it's her guest list and none of my business. Then she said, "I'm insecure because the ex is the whole package and that I'm just a rebound girl." The disrespect is so loud. Mother in law gets no chances from me because it looks like she just squashed it all in one paragraph. Odd to ask the married couple, of which you're not even that close with, to say, "Oh, how many can I invite? How many of my guests can I invite?" No, like, why would you just assume that you can invite your own guest list to someone else's event? The fact that the first person she wanted to invite to is the ex fiance who broke her son's heart, she is cold. She's a cold hearted. I think these two actions alone would warrant an uninvite from the wedding. I think they should stay no contact with mother in law because she doesn't seem like she has the couple's best interest in mind. There doesn't even seem to be any love for the couple either. Although I will say it's unusual to hear that a parent is ostracizing their kid because their kid isn't a girl. Usually I hear a lot where, "Oh, I always wanted a son, my son, my son." And so the son is the golden child and any daughters or sisters are kind of ostracized. And I think this is the flip side of it. So kind of refreshing to hear, but really sad for OP. The third straw for me is her finally saying, "Hey, you're just rebound. Ex over here who cheated on your son, by the way, is the whole package." So the whole package is your son being duped and lied to? Okay, very odd mothering behavior. OP ends this with, "Henry told his mom to stop and asked her to leave. Once she left, he asked if I could be the bigger person and let her have this, as he really wants his mom to be at the wedding. He suggested that if inviting his ex would keep his mom quiet, we should just ignore her. Am I the a-hole for not wanting her there? P.S. We're mostly paying for the wedding ourselves with some help from my dad. Mother-in-law hasn't contributed." I'm sorry, Henry. You gotta grow a pair. I know you have mommy issues and you want to be loved by mom, but this is just not it. Are you gonna let her actions dictate your life forever? Are you gonna be at her whims forever? Henry, you are 36, almost 37. You've tried, I get it. You want that mommy love, but she does not love you. So why are you one-sidedly barking up the wrong tree? You should be standing by your fiance. And it's so weird to me because the wedding is supposed to be your best day of your life. Like, only the people who truly support your union and want to be there for you should be there. Why do you want to have the ex there to protect the peace, to ignore her? And can we be realistic? Weddings, usually you have to pay like 100 some per plate per person. You want to shell out at least 100 some for the ex that cheated on you? Come on. I know I'm being harsh on Henry, the fiance here, but grow a backbone, please. Have some self-worth because this is not it. Just uninvite the mom. I think the whole drama would be over if they did that. First comment from No Consequences. Not the whole, your fiance is a big F. If you marry him, this will be your future unless he grows a set. You will be third after his mom and the ex. Is this how you want to live? Oh, this comment's right. I didn't think about it. I was thinking that fiance would always, or OP would always be second to her fiance after the mom. But you're right. Mom comes with her own baggage, the ex. So I guess in list of priorities, it would kind of be, what does mom think? And then what does ex think? And then would be wife, OP would be third?
I think it's probably taking a little bit too far here. I think the OP's fiance is only doing that because the mother is asking that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Why is he prioritizing his mom's opinion over
Well,
his fiance's?
absolutely. I'm not defending that. I think that
Exactly.
is no defense on that one.
I think the weirdest thing about this is his mom and his ex who cheat on him
Absolutely.
are BFFs. They're
Yeah.
best friends. They're going to family reunions together.
Given the circumstances under which they broke up is because the ex cheated on him, right?
I'm just imagining it's so awkward at family functions. And it's probably awkward for people around them too at family functions
Yeah.
because, oh, look, there goes Sally and with her son's ex who cheated on him, Susie. And they're just hand in hand. I'm imagining them strolling into the family barbecue and having a good old time. And everyone's like, who is Susie? I'm just naming them guys because it's easier that way. Who is this chick that we see at every family function but isn't related to anybody? It's awkward. Opie actually responds to this comment and says, I suggested therapy regarding his relationship with his mother. He thinks we just have to accept her the way she is. Henry can decide what type of relationship he wants with his mother, but I think you're in a committed relationship, and so your relationship with your mom is clearly impacting your relationship with your would-be wife. So I don't think it's fair that she's just gonna write it off as, oh, we just have to accept that this is the way it is. What's the point of having this relationship if it's so one-sided between Henry and his mom? It's hard for me to understand that. We got another commenter. Oh my gosh. Your username, girl. It's love being an a-hole. Love being an a-hole says, I mean, you could go a couple of ways with this. One, uninvite the mother-in-law and her entire guest list. I agree with this. Two, ask fiance to get a spine because no way are you having his cheating ex at your wedding. 3, let ex come to the wedding, but thank her during your speech for cheating on your now husband because without her being a cheating, you would have never met your husband. The colorful language is coming out. I would choose 3, but I'm a petty a-hole, not the a-hole. I can second 1 and 2. I'm behind 1 and 2, but 3, while it would feel so good in the very short, brief moment of it happening, I would highly recommend OP doesn't go the petty route for this, only because it's your wedding day. You don't want to make it about the cheating ex. You don't want to give her any more spotlight than she already has. So I would advise against that one.
Yeah, that seems like a very bad idea. It's funny to read that, but it
Yeah.
is not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't
There's so
think
many
being in it-
downsides by if the OP
Ugh.
actually chose to do that.
Yeah, I think it would become a drama fest on the wedding. Opie says there's 0 chances of him doing 1 or 2. So I either have to cancel the wedding or choose option 3. That's so sad though, OP. So there's 0 chance of uninviting the mother-in-law and her entire guest list. Why? And there's also 0 chances of fiance getting a spine. Why are you with this guy? I know you guys aren't married yet. And by the time this post is 2 days old. I'm hoping that you reconsider. I think potentially if you're already thinking of canceling the wedding over this, maybe you should cancel it or at least put a pause until your fiance can work out whatever situation he has with his mom because it's so unhealthy. And I'm just imagining what other events, if this is your wedding and mother-in-law wants to intrude and invite her own group of people, including the ex, imagine what other family events she's going to invite the ex to. Your potential, if you have a kid, your baby shower. Would mother-in-law insist on having the cheating ex there? This is a look into your future, OP. Are you prepared to spend the rest of your life celebrating family functions and special events with mother-in-law who doesn't even like your husband and his cheating ex in tow? So there is an update with the story. I'm just having my fingers crossed. I hope it's a positive one. OP says, thank you so much for the comments and DMs. I had a calm talk with Henry and explained how I feel disrespected by his mom's words and actions. While I can't control who she associates with, it is very disrespectful that she invites your ex to all the gatherings and that the two of them constantly pick on me. Henry acknowledged this, but said that's just how his mom is. At this point, I'm not surprised if Henry has a t-shirt that says that's just how mom is. I think OP should just say, hey, if that's how you feel, then let's call it the wedding and break up because that's just how I am. It is so weird. It kind of reminds me of our first story, the whole mama's boy gone to the extreme. Why is this so common, guys? So OP continues. I told him that it's best we cancel the wedding at this point because I want our wedding day to be a happy, memorable occasion, not one filled with drama and stress. I added that his mom is going to ruin this day and that he's just going to accept it as usual, which I can't tolerate. I told him I won't marry him until he sets some boundaries with his mother. This situation is ridiculous. Henry went on about how he can't cut his mother out of his life because she sacrificed so much raising him and his brother as a single mom. But he admitted that he doesn't know how to handle her either. I told him I can't make that decision for him, but I'm going no contact with his mom. I suggested that maybe therapy could help him realize how abusive and toxic his relationship with his family is and help him decide what to do with his life. I also said I won't attend any more gatherings. He went quiet for a while. Then he called his mom on speakerphone to tell her that the wedding was canceled. She went on, saying he finally did the right thing by, quote, dumping that whiny bitch, calling me insecure and controlling, and saying it was a miserable relationship. Henry interrupted her, saying, Mom, stop. But she didn't care. In the end, he told her, Mom, we're not breaking up. She's here and heard everything. She canceled it, not me, because you kept disrespecting her. His mom screamed, That manipulative little bitch set me up, and started ranting again. Henry then told her that he needs some time to think, and it's best if she gives him some space, then hung up. We've barely talked since. He's spending today helping his brother with some renovations, and I'm home alone. Hopefully, my next update will be less depressing. Man. I feel so bad for OP. I feel some level of sympathy for Henry too. But sorry, this kind of cemented for me that Henry's not ready to be married. He's not ready for a relationship because he still hasn't gotten over his relationship with his mom. He's a mommy's boy, and that's fine, but he didn't stand up for her. His argument or his comment when he heard all the disrespectful things that his mom was saying was, Mom, stop. She's here. She heard everything. So if OP wasn't there, how long would this have gone on? Would he have defended her? I don't think so. He can't even defend himself, so I don't see how he can defend his would-be wife either. OP, I think this speaks volumes as to what your relationship will look like if you continue. You might like him, but I don't think love is enough for him to even defend you in front of his mom. I'm going to say it. Break up. So there is another update. We've got stories with lots of updates today. OP says, It's 6 a.m. and I've been crying all night. Sorry for any typos. He broke up with me. He ignored all my texts yesterday, and it was late when I finally texted his brother to ask if he was okay. His brother said, Yeah, he left 2 hours ago to give his ex a ride and then come home. I asked his ex was there, but he didn't reply. When he finally came home, he told me to sit down because we needed to talk. He said, I thought about our situation and I think we should end it. He said, Today, I hung out with my family and even his mom and ex came over. They all told me that by me going no contact with his mom, it was going to be so awkward and that they'd be stuck in the middle. He said, When you weren't there today, I enjoyed my time with my family. There's no tension and I didn't have to worry about you being upset. I asked him, Why did it take you 2 hours to drop off your ex? Did you sleep with her? He told me I was being ridiculous and that he was just talking to her. He accused me of being controlling and insecure and said I'm isolating him from his friends and family. I asked him again, So nothing happened? He danced around, but eventually admitted, We fooled around, but that's it. I told him I couldn't believe what a pathetic, weak man he is, letting his mom convince him to ruin everything. And next, he's getting a blowjob from his cheating ex. We ended up arguing and he went to sleep. I cried all night. Today, I'm going to call my dad and ask if I can stay with him. I saw the breakup coming, but I did not foresee him hooking up with the ex, basically. Oh, I'm so pissed. OP, you too, like OP dodged a bullet. It's a good thing he broke up with OP because I don't know that she was willing to completely break up and not let go of the relationship. I cannot believe that's all it took. Let me see the timing. So between the previous update, which was a day ago, and this final update, which was 10 hours ago, so a day. A day is all it took for him to hang out a few hours with his family and his mom, listen to his mom whisper in his ears, and then say, you know what, let me drive my ex home. The ex, that's the reason why me and my fiance are having a fight, first of all. And yeah, let's hang out a little for 2 hours, get a blowjob, and then end it. The disrespect is so loud. I'm so mad. He was so hurt by his ex cheating on him. And now he just did it to his fiance, or now ex-fiance. You know, okay, the trash took itself out. I hope you heal from this, and I hope you are able to move on peacefully, surround yourself with loved ones, and, get that bucket of ice cream if that helps you out. Snack on it, put on a good rom-com or something to help you feel better. I am so sorry that it ended this way. Let's see what the comments say. I feel like the comments are going to be running with us. First one from Material Cellist. When his cheating ex cheats on him again, he will get karma. You're on the winning end. You cut loose a cheating a-hole and his shitty family. Now it's time to find yourself a real life partner. Agreed. Another comment from G-Drum. So he cheated with his cheating ex? Wow. As much as this sucks, you'll be so thankful that you didn't marry this piece of shit, nor have to deal with his disgusting mother and ex ever again. I wish you the best of luck with your eventual move for your master's program. Take the time you need to heal, but just know things will get better. Can't say the same for him, though. Agreed. I hope he trips on a Lego. I hope ex-fiance freaking trips on a Lego and suffers very many minor, non-life-threatening inconveniences in his life.
Steps on a Lego, by the way.
What did I say?
Trips on the Lego.
Oh, you're right. Is it worse to trip on a Lego or to step on it? I think tripping. Wait, no, I think stepping. Yeah, I hope you step on many Legos, like the smallest ones with the pointy edges.
Yeah, that would be quite an achievement. You trip over a Lego.
You know what I mean. All right, and next is our final story, guys. Oh, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying these episodes, and let me know if anything comes to mind, if you guys have ideas for the channel as well. I'm always working on trying to think of ways to spice it up for you guys. So if there are potential stories that you want me to react to, let me know. DM me on Instagram, or if you have your own stories to share, let me know. DM me on Instagram at honeyhearts. Oh, it's also linked in the description if you guys want to share your own stories. Now, last story. It's from the subreddit, Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting for wanting a divorce after finding thousands of photos of myself, 33-year-old male, sleeping on my wife's 31-year-old female's phone? OP says, my wife and I have been together for 11 years and have 3 amazing kids together. We have never had any serious issues. She's a great mother and has been nothing but an amazing partner for all these years. However, the other night, I was looking for a picture of our son on her phone, and I found an album called My Name, Sleeping, with 9,631 photos of myself sleeping over the years. 9,631. She never told me about this or sent me any of the photos. It's just me sleeping in numerous different angles. He says, I can't even believe I'm writing this, but I'm so creeped out and don't know how to move forward. I confronted her about the pictures and she just got annoyed that I had her phone and offered no explanation. I feel very violated and am uncomfortable sleeping next to her. I feel like I can't be with this person anymore. What should I do? This is weird, right? Or am I overreacting? I have to admit, from the title alone of Am I Overreacting for Wanting a Divorce after finding thousands of photos of myself sleeping on my wife's phone, I kind of thought it would be, I don't know. I think this is like an affectionate gesture. Am I weird? In my head, this is how I picture it. Oh, wife maybe thought it was, oh, look, he's sleeping. He's in a, I don't know, he looks cute or handsome or something. So let me snap a photo of hubby. And although over 9,000, almost 10,000 photos seems a little obsessive, but as a girl, I'm also guilty of taking like hundreds of photos of the same outfit. So I don't know. Let me do the math. They've been married for 11 years, right? Let me do the math here. 11 years and you have almost 10,000 photos. How many photos is that per day on average?
It's probably around 3 photos per day. If she's being consistent.
Let me see. Wait, what was that? The number was 9,631. Very specific. 9,361. You might be right.
It's a little bit less than that, but around there.
Divided by 11 years. So that's like, per year, she took about 876 photos.
Yep.
Which, yeah, you're right. About 2 to 3 photos a day. I mean, I doubt she took them all per day. I'm sure it's kind of like, oh, he's so cute. Let me take like 50 right now.
I mean, 50 is quite a bit. But in any case, what to me is concerning is why would there be one to get a divorce without actually having a full-on conversation with the wife first.
Well, he did. He tried confronting her and she didn't. She just got annoyed that he went through her phone, but she didn't have a reason for it.
That to me seems very strange.
It's strange. I don't think it's something you divorce your partner over. I think it's okay to feel creeped out, like a little bit concerned that your partner has like a dedicated like album shrine to you sleeping. But I think I'm a weirdo. Okay, I thought it was kind of sweet. Not the 9,000 picture sweet, but like a few sleeping photos is sweet. Because think of how many photos I have of Beanie and Mango.
I mean, yeah, but I still can't get past the fact that they couldn't have a conversation around this.
That's true. Maybe that's the bigger red flag is why they couldn't have an honest conversation about it, because he feels very violated, which is, fair. Someone's taking photos of you sleeping. But I think it's such a like silly thing to get divorced over. Although people have gotten divorced over smaller things. So let's see what the comments say. I'm excited for this one. From E90 Andrew. Weird? Sure. But like, let's talk about this kind of weird. Divorce feels extreme, especially if there are 3 kids in the effing picture. Edit, when I say in the picture, using that as a figure of speech, not the children literally in the picture's wife tuck. Oh, man. I agree. I think it's definitely a weird thing. And they should have a conversation. For once, I'm anti the D word. I don't think they should get divorced over this. If anything, I think your wife is kind of low-key obsessed with you. I mean, she has to be, right? I mean, it's a commitment to take that many photos of someone. Now, another comment from Shadiddle. I think this is how my dog must feel because I roughly have the same. I think this is how my dog must feel because I have roughly the same amount of pics of her sleeping. I feel so called out right now. It is true. I do have very many photos of Beanie Mango sleeping. See, now it's got me kind of reflecting on myself. How would my pets feel if they realize how many photos I have of them sleeping? I'm looking at Mango, guys. Okay, I guess it's a little bit weird. Okay, it's very weird. But I think it's okay. Am I weirdo if I said that I wouldn't be surprised if my partner has a secret album of photos of me sleeping? Do you have secret photos of me sleeping?
What do you mean? How would you know?
Give me your phone right now. Am I going to find like 10,000 photos?
I have to admit, I do have a couple, but definitely not in the
Not in the
hundreds or
thousands and hundreds.
thousands range.
Although, guys, apparently, okay, me and Em had this conversation the other day about my sleeping positions because apparently I sleep weirdly. And I'll spawn up a photo for you guys, like of Peter Griffin. He said I slept like Peter Griffin. So let me show you guys a meme. It's like basically his arm is all weird, like at an angle. I would say sometimes when I'm really like well rested, I have deep sleeper tendencies, and so my body will kind of move in odd positions. Like, I don't know. But to say I'm like Peter Griffin, you should say cuter, someone cuter. Who has a cute sleeping position? Like a little bunny or something. No? That's not accurate? I don't sleep like a cute little bunny?
No, I think you do look cute when you sleep. I mean, it's just we all have those moments where
That's not convincing at all. That's not convincing. Oh, although I do want to add this last comment from Caddy Wampus. Ooh, I bet it's an OCD. Like if she doesn't take one, you won't wake up or something. Interesting. So maybe there's a medical perspective to this on why she is taking so many photos. But I think it's highly likely that maybe your wife is just obsessed with you. Literally, OP. I think you should have an honest conversation. Try to chill out a little bit. Don't be too overreactive. And that's my verdict. Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed these very messy stories where many of the OPs might not have minded their own business when they needed to. Now, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, let me know in the comments. If you have other topics that you want me to find stories about and share with you guys, let me know. And don't forget to hit the like button and smash subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.